Hey guys, George MGR Performance here. We're continuing on the 799 cylinder head. Watch the other videos how to improve yourself with some basic stuff that he gained about 30 CFM. Then I showed the last video my regular porting. He gained about it went from 247 to 311, so 54 CFM. Some places gain 15, some places gain 30, some places gain 52, 51. Watch the video to see. This is the exhaust of 799. Watch my first video. I flow tested it with a 2-inch pipe. I believe it was going 200 with a pipe. What I'm doing right now, because one of my friends, another shop around close by to me, bought a CNC machine, Centroid. So I think I'm gonna digitize my stock valve port and one exhaust port as a stage 2, so I can do a rough cut with a CNC, and then I can tailor the port if I want to make it for a 205 valve, for 1.6 valve. At least it's opened up. Most of the work is done because I'm getting fed up of grinding, to be honest. It's long. I do have a lot of other stuff to do, and grinding heads, it's very time consuming. So this is like basically, this is not an all-out exhaust port job. This is a nice exhaust port for naturally aspirated or even a turbocharge, keeping the port small. As you can see, I did not even raise the port. All the work is done inside. Dimensionally on the outside is pretty much the same. What's obvious, it's obviously I narrowed down the guide. I opened up the bowl area a bit. Short turn, and there's no valve job. That's a stock valve job. I just did a radius. I radius it with my grinder into the bowl area. It looks good. So right now I'm gonna put on the bench and see what gains or losses we got, and we'll move forward. Like I said, and the other thing that I did here, I just blended all the ridges, and I didn't even open it up to a 4-inch plus bore. This could very easily work on a 5.7, 5.3. This is my intake port. I haven't done a valve job yet. So this is going 310, 311, a high lift. It goes 302, 304 at 700. You gain quite a bit with a stock valve. And look at the valve job. I mean, like, it's pretty terrible. When I put the valve in, it doesn't even seal right. It's the seat is warped. So we're gonna gain a bit with the new valve job. This is just a basic, not an all-out exhaust port job. Basically what I want to do is digitize these ports. If I have a stock valve, the chamber I'm going to do by hand. I just want the CNC to do my port and the bowl, same over here. And then I can go in and do my valve job, blend it, do my chamber. If I decide to do a bigger valve, well, I'll do the oversize, and I'll correct the bowl area and the chamber by hand. I just gotta work out the details with the guy with the CNC machine, because it has to make sense price-wise for me and for him and for the client. So it's not 100% for sure, but this is what I'm preparing right now. This is why the chamber is not all polished up, blended, and all this bling bling stuff that does absolutely nothing. That I used to do in the past, and I used to spend days and days polishing and making everything pretty, which it does offer anti-detonational stuff for boosted applications. There's the purpose for everything, you know what I mean? But for a street car, it doesn't really change much sitting there for 10 days polishing. And oh, there's a little, my pattern of my sound roll here is not the same as my pattern of my sound roll. It doesn't change anything. It's nice to look at, but once you put the valve in and you put on the engine, you never see it again. And then when you take it out of the car, your exhaust port is gonna look 10 times worse than this. So there's a lot of stuff that it's a lot of waste of time with minimal gains. You know, look at my port. Look how rough my port is. It flows 311 with a stock part. It's not the texture, it's the size and how everything works. And to be honest with you, this texture right now for me, it's absolutely perfect for an intake port. Okay, so a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and they never even held the grinder in their hands just because they read somebody say something or somebody said something, or even a guy that's been grinding for years can disagree with me, just like I was disagreeing with old timers back in the day. My port was all polished and everything, and the guy's like, why are you sitting there polishing your ports? You're wasting your time. And I'm like, well, look at this guy, he's old school. No, he wasn't old school. It's because the guy had more experience than me, and he was telling me the truth, you know. So back to this, let me put on the bench. Let's see what we get out of it. We got 200 CFM. Let me show you that. Did a lot of step-by-step work for you guys. It was fun for me at the same time. I don't mind doing it. That was the final intake yesterday. I enlarged the back cut a little bit to 100 thou from original, and I refaced the valve. This is the valve. This part here. This part here is your back cut. These engines tend to like a larger back cut. It slows down the air, so it helps it. It flows better at the low lifts, and it actually helps it stabilize at around 500-600. Somebody can argue with me again, say the narrower back cut helps peak flow. Usually it does, not in this case. This is my initial intake port. No, sorry. Where is it? Sorry about that. That's so many tests here. Okay, here's the initial port. It was only going 247 on my bench. Like I said, the valve job is terrible, so it could be that's the reason why it's less than 250, 260. I see some guys online that say they flows 250, 260. It could be. It's just I showed you guys the seat, how it's protruding into the bowl, into the throat. It was terrible. That's why we gained so much by just correcting that little thing. So back to the exhaust. See, 2-inch pipe, and I even had the head facing backwards. So I'm going to install the head the same way, facing backwards, like that. Nobody can say, oh, but the first time they had this, you know, the air was pushing against the machine, and now it's this way. So we're going to test it the exact same way. It was doing not bad for an exhaust stock port. 59, 106, 131, 68, 184. The big 201. So let's stop the blah 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 and put the head on the bench and see what it does. Hey guys, back to this. I just flow tested the exhaust port. Like I said, I didn't even raise the roof. It's all bulwark, short turn, narrow down the guide, open it internally instead of like the outside of the port. The dimensions didn't really change, maybe 10 thou or something. All the work is done inside. the numbers are pretty outstanding as expected, because I usually get this heads to go like 260 on the exhaust with a 1.6 valve. They go like 250, 260 with a 1.6 for supercharged applications, nitrous applications. For turbo NA, I keep it this way, and this is going to get better because there's no valve job done yet. But let's look at the gains, okay? 100 lift has a little bit turbulence because I opened up the throat with my grinder, so the angles are not, I need to do a valve job, put it that way. So these numbers are going to get better. So we didn't get nothing at 100. 200, we gained 10. 300, 139 to 154, that would be 15.5 CFM. 400, 168 to 189, 21 CFM. 500, 184.5 to 210, that's 15 plus 15.5, 30.5 CFM. At 600, we gained 33 CFM. At 700, we gained 39 CFM. At 800, we gained 800, 200, 41.5 CFM. And all the way down the valve, we gained 40 plus CFM. I mixed up myself over here, don't mind me, you guys can see the difference. It's quite outstanding, the difference for the work that I did. And I still maintain it this way like before, because maybe if I would have flipped it around the first time I tested this way, maybe now it's gonna have less restrictions. So I kept it exact same way, same port, same valve, same everything. The only thing that I'm gonna try right now that I never tried before, to be honest, I'm gonna do a back cut on the intake valve and see what that does, okay? I've been honest, never tried it on an LS cylinder head. We might lose, we might gain. It will be a good way to check. I mean, for the amount of work that I did to the exhaust port, the numbers are outstanding, okay? These heads are known to flow good when you work them on the exhaust. With the valve job, they're gonna get even better, because right now my throat is not exactly what I wanted it to be. But if you follow the beginning of the video, I'm trying to do a template for a CNC program that I can hand finish afterwards. Like, I don't want the machine, when we digitize the port, I don't want it to be finished this way. Like, I'm gonna tell the guy when he makes the program to maybe leave it 5,000 smaller everywhere, or 10,000 smaller everywhere, and it could be a quick CNC. So that means that the lines are going to be more pronounced, a faster cut. So basically what I want to do is have my own port that I can put it on the CNC, and then I can hand finish it the way I want. And if I want to do a bigger port, we'll figure out. It's details that I need to discuss with the person with the CNC machine. You know what I mean? And I want that program to belong to me. I don't want somebody else walking in there and they're using my program. So it's a bit complicated. I don't know exactly how I'm supposed to go about this. But like I said, I'm getting older and I'm getting fed up of spending 40 hours grinding cylinder heads, you know? I'd rather spend a day perfecting one port and digitize it. I have my program for a 709 or a 243, and do another one for a 706, and do another one for a Coyote head or whatever. So like, I refuse so many jobs porting because I can't sit there and grind when, you know, we have a full mechanic shop, we have a chassis dyno, we build engines. Now we got the CK10 and all that stuff, so it's more and more work. I cannot spend a week grinding cylinder heads. That's why I tend to only do porting for engines that I built myself. Very rare I'll port cylinder heads for someone that's building an engine somewhere else or he's doing his own stuff. I've done it for multiple shops actually, but that was more earlier in my career. Right now I take less and less because, like I said, it's very time consuming to do a full pouring job, you know. To do a little bowl blend and a valve job, that's another story. I'm gonna put the phone down. This video is getting a little bit longer than I like to, but it doesn't matter. Let's see what it does if I'm gonna reface the valve, because the valve is not even refaced. It's stock the way it came out. And I'll see the shape of the valve, and I'm gonna try to do a little bit of a back cut and see how that affects, if any, or if we go backwards or whatever. Hold on, and let's see the results. All right, guys, continuation, as expected. I never ever do a back cut on the exhaust valve on any LS cylinder heads. I said, well, what I have to lose, let me try it, because the valve has a nice tulip shape to it. It was not a good thing. So first of all, the valve it's a used valve, so it wasn't perfectly straight. So the back cut, it was like larger in some areas and narrow in other areas, but it's not that. It's, you know, maybe if I would have done steeper, maybe 40 or something. I don't think so, because the shape of the valve is quite nice. So for whatever reason, we gained at 100, then we lost at 200, then it was the same at 3, then it lost about 3.5 at 4, it lost a solid 5 at 5, it lost 5 at 6, it lost 5 at 7, it lost 2.5 at 8, it lost 3 at 9, and it lost 2.5 at peak. So it's not a terrible loss, but why would you do it if you're losing? So do not do a 30-degree back cut on the exhaust valve on any LS cylinder heads. Thanks for watching. Hit a like, subscribe. This is what it is, and that's it. I'm gonna have a meeting with a guy with a CNC machine and see what kind of a thing we could work out. I mean, I can't take every pouring job that comes my way. Just like I said, it just doesn't make any sense. It's way too much time consuming, and you know, it has to be faster and have to be able to give an exact price, you know what I mean? Because it's hard when you grind. Like, I'm not gonna sit there grinding for a week and charge $1,000 when you have a shop, you know? And when you're paying $1,000, $1,500 in rent a week, you cannot spend a week grinding a set of cylinder heads for $1,000. It doesn't make sense. Okay? Thanks for watching, guys. Much appreciated. There is one specific guy that keeps on posting on my other post that the first step that he gained 20 CFM, it's inflated and it's wrong and it's not right. Why the hell would I inflate something that I'm giving out for free? I'm showing what I did and what he gained. It's not like somebody was paying me and I'm giving him some fake numbers or whatever. I'm making a video on YouTube for free, okay? And I took the same port, I did the same port, I touched a certain area, put it back on the bench, and I explained why. But the guy thinks he knows best because he watches multiple videos and he makes him an expert to comment, right? When you have a step like this, look at the massive step. The air, when that air hits at those speeds, it creates turbulence. Turbulence can destroy your numbers. As soon as you correct that, you can gain 10, 15, 20 CFM, just like you gained the cylinder head. Because in the beginning, this head supposedly flows 260. Where is the 260 on my bench? It doesn't flow 260. This specific casting here did not flow 260. It doesn't mean that if I grab another casting that it's better than this, Maybe the valve job doesn't look at that step. Look at that massive step. Maybe if that was better molded into the cylinder head, it will probably flow to 6 inch, just like it did with a minor little work afterwards, you know? But listen, we're not gonna turn my YouTube page into a Facebook and people are arguing. And like, if somebody watches my stuff and he doesn't like what he sees and he doesn't agree with me, you move away from my page, you go to another page, and you can watch somebody else that makes sense to your head. Because sometimes things don't make sense and they work a certain way. There's no such thing as everything works the same. It doesn't. It does not. You know? Sometimes you're doing the same work from this port to this port and it's just not responding because the casting, there's something different, and you cannot get you spend 30 minutes on this port and you spend an entire day on this port to try to make it match this one. So unless you've done it and you've done it for years, maybe then you can understand, because it's easier to talk than to do it, because people think just because they saw a video and somebody said something, now that guy's God and everything is right. You know, in my opinion, I'm right. In your opinion, you're right. Very simple. If I watch something that I disagree on, I mean, like, if I know better, I don't need to tell the guy that he's wrong or whatever. What am I going to gain out of it by creating an argument? He's going to continue saying, I'm right. I'm going to continue saying, I'm right. What's the point? I'm making a video showing how somebody can do little work at home to improve your cylinder head. The guy turns around and tells me that it's impossible, okay, that I gain those numbers, and then he's asking me, what's the casting you're working on? The guy didn't even watch the video, because if he would have watched the video, he would have seen the casting number, okay? There's 7 videos on this casting. And then he's comparing his cylinder head, that's a 706, that somebody put bigger valves that did a bowl blend. He's talking about apples and I'm talking about oranges. And the guy's telling me, your numbers are inflated, please carry on. Okay, good. Thank you very much. Have a great day. George MGR Performance, like I said, these are videos for entertainment. Some people learn something, some people know better than me. Good for them. And I mean, you don't have to watch my videos. Have a great day. Much appreciated. Hit a like and subscribe.